All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is our very first ever Fine Arts Coffee Talk for Carmel Catholic High School's Fine Arts Department. My name is Kacey Valentine O'Keeffe. I am the dance teacher and current department chair for the Fine Arts. And we've got some amazing juniors and seniors here with us today who are representing all the amazing areas of fine arts. So each one of them is going to introduce themselves and say which area of fine arts they're representing. All right? Who wants to go first? Go for it.
So hi, I'm Ellen. I'm a senior and I'm representing photography and graphic design.
I'm Cassidy. I'm also a senior and I'm representing the dance part of fine art.
I can go next. Hi, I'm Erin, and I will be representing the dramatic arts.
Hi, I'm Elsta, and I'm going to be representing visual arts. I'm a senior.
I'm Ava. I'm a junior, and I'm representing instrumental music.
And I'm Izzy. I'm a senior, and I'm representing choir.
Amazing. First and foremost, thank you all for being here and representing these programs. You have had first hands-on experience, so we're going to talk about that right away. So one at a time, each one of you can kind of give a little brief answer. Let's start off with, what courses have you taken in the area that you're representing today, and what are you currently involved in right now? So it can be courses that you're involved in right now, or it can also be productions and organizations that you're a part of. All right? We can go in the same order again. Ellen, why don't you start us off?
Sure. So I've taken photography 1 and 2. I was supposed to take 3 this year, but our class is too small for it. So I'm now enrolled in ceramics and sculpture. So I really enjoy these classes.
Okay, for dance, I've been in intermediate 2 honors. I've taken advanced dance. I am a part of Orchesis, which is after school, but it also counts as honors credit as a class, which is awesome. And I'm also in street scenes, which has some dancey elements in it too. So.
I last semester did my first class of Stagecraft, and I've been involved in. I think I've taken honors drama like 3 times. I love that class, and I've been involved in all of the productions on cast since my freshman year. And there's currently nothing happening really right now, but we got auditions coming up on the 12th, so definitely get involved.
I've taken intro to art, obviously, ceramics, graphic design 1, which Ellen is also covering, honors drawing and painting, AP art studio, which is 2 semesters long, so this is my 2nd semester taking it, and then graphic design 2, which I'm currently taking.
I took marching band and concert band freshman and sophomore year, and now I'm in wind ensemble in my day schedule, and I'm also in jazz ensemble and jazz combo. I also play for the masses and for Cadence, the show choir, and I'm also in street scenes and the musicals. So yeah.
I took treble choir, liturgical choir, advanced choir, Parkway Singers, which is an a cappella choir, and then I'm currently in Cadence show choir, and I'm also part of street scenes like Cassidy was saying, and I'm also part of choir board as well.
Excellent. So literally what we just mentioned in the last 2 minutes is about half of the amount of courses that are offered for fine arts. So there's over 50 classes in the whole department, which is a lot. There's a lot to choose from in every single program, but they all fall under this huge umbrella of the fine arts family. So thanks for sharing all that information. And then what I'm hoping for next is if some of you, or all of you, can describe one of the fine arts classes that you've taken that really stood out to you. So, in just a short and concise way, just kind of expressing the highlight of that particular course that just made it for you, that made it like, oh, this is so cool. I'm so glad I was a part of this. So again, just the the class that really stood out to you the most and that particular highlight that you want to share. Anybody can take the floor. Feel free.
I think a class that really stood out to me was definitely honors drama. Obviously, like I said, I've taken it like 3 times and I love the class. I think a really wonderful thing when it comes to theater and to performing with the dramatic arts is it's very based on connection, and you become very close with your classmates, especially because they tend to be smaller classes, and they kind of require you to step out of your comfort zone constantly.
Thank you. Yeah, go for it.
I definitely think the AP Art Studio that I took last semester and continuing this semester was really awesome because like it's basically like you kind of have a prompt, but you basically get to do whatever you want with that prompt, and it's just like really whatever you want. And I want to get my master's in architecture, and I had never really like explored, I guess, that kind of art. So I really got like a chance to explore that and realize like that's actually something I want to do. So that was super cool.
That is cool. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Anyone want to go next?
I can go. For me, I think jazz ensemble stood out because the competitions, it was really fun because you get feedback from like professionals and you perform for an audience of people that is wider than just like the people in the football stands or like your parents at the Carmel concerts. It's actually other groups and you get to watch other groups, and it's like everyone there is actually passionate about it because they join jazz because they like jazz, not just for an arts credit or something. So I really liked that, and that was like my favorite thing about the classes that I took.
I can go next. So I really liked photography 1 because it set out all the bases for what you were building up to in the other classes, and it really made me want to become a better photographer because I'm also involved in the yearbook, so I take pictures for the yearbook as well. And it's taught me a bunch of different tips on how to use film cameras and digital cameras, and it was just a really fun experience developing the film. And Miss Merchuk is a ton of fun, and it really helped me want to further my hobby in film photography and also digital photography. But film is a really fun experience, and that's what you start out with, so I think it's a really solid class.
I can go. So something that stood out to me, a choir that I took was Parkway Singers, which I was saying is the a cappella choir. And it stood out to me because it's such a small group compared to other choirs that you're in. So you really get to know everyone around you. There's freshmen to seniors in the group. And you also get really fun music and music that you're able to like learn from, and your voices are all blending in a way that's different from all the other choirs. You have to learn different positioning and ways your voices blend and such. And so something I really remember was we were able to go to a nursing home and sing Christmas carols to the people there, and they just loved it, and to be able to like have that personal experience was really awesome.
I really loved advanced dance. I took it last year. And there was this one particular performance that we got to do it was the Illinois showcase. And we, right before we all went into quarantine, we got to have this performance, and like being up on that stage and just being with like all these other people, all these other dancers that like I've grown super close with. It was so great to actually be able to perform. So that's like what stuck with me from that class. Also, we performed this one piece in front of Miss Hawk once, and she cried. Not because it was bad, I swear, but that was really cool too, because we were able to express like a message through our movement in a way that like affected someone to the point where they were crying. I thought it was pretty powerful.
Awesome. You all are so great. Like all of your answers just like so good. There's a reason why you were all picked, but like you're making it known. So keep it up, guys. So this may or may not be applicable to you, so don't feel like you have to answer. But of the classes that you have taken and have worked your way up towards, like how has that affected your outlook on what you plan on taking, like your juniors and seniors? So some of you have already established and chosen what you want to do in college, and that may or may not have to do with what you've studied for fine arts classes, but was fine arts in the conversation of your families, like trying to figure out what you wanted to do, or are you hoping to be involved in that area when you get to college, maybe as a major or minor, just other groups and organizations that you can be a part of, maybe both? We would love to hear that input, any kind of information you have towards, the future, like life after Carmel, like will you continue and what does that look like for you? It's okay if you don't have an answer, but if you do, feel free to chime away.
For me, like my sights have always been set on architecture, and I just didn't really know how to get into it and start drawing buildings in different perspectives and stuff. So it was super I think it was awesome for me to take all these classes because first of all I have all these experiences and I have all this practice under my hand, and now I can actually start getting into something that I actually want to do. And with those classes now I know I actually do want to do this in my life. So I think just being able to experience different things, I started doing art when I was really little, but I know a ton of my friends just started doing art and they love it and they want to take it to college and they want to do something with it.
For me, so my freshman year, I was a part of the musical, which was Fiddler on the Roof, and that was my favorite thing of all of my freshman year. And once it was done, I was like, oh, I would love to do this professionally, being a real pit or something like that, because I love theater, but I can't sing, I can't act or anything. So being in pit is a good way to do that. And so after that, it really put it into my head that I could do that, and that was the first thing on my list of what I wanted to do for a while. So doing the stuff at Carmel that I've done has made me really passionate about performance, that I didn't have in middle school. So yeah.
I'm oh my god, I remember Fiddler with you. You were awesome, by the way. But I'm hoping to pursue theater professionally. I'm hoping to take it to college and dual major in PR and theater. Something I've been passionate about since I was little, but I feel throughout my high school career and being involved within the dramatic arts has sort of led my passion and honed some of the skills I've had. And I'm hoping as I move forward into my own college career that I'm able to better understand and better execute my craft as an actor. But I definitely feel the guidance that was given to me by the instructors and just by the mentors that I've had that have been upperclassmen when I was an underclassman joining the theater department definitely kind of made me feel like I could pursue this professionally, that I wanted to make my life out of this.
All right, cool. Okay, so the next question is more geared towards, okay, thinking back to when you were a freshman or sophomore and you're trying to get the lay of the land, trying to figure out what you're taking, what was it like trying to fit the classes you wanted to take in your schedule? And, maybe you weren't able to take it this semester, but you remembered you wanted to take it the following year. Just what advice do you think you can offer to be able to have the courage to take something, whether it be something that they're interested in, or even if it's just something they took when they were a freshman and they want to take again? Just what advice can you give?
I can go first. So I remember when I was a freshman and I sat down with my counselor and he was like, oh, so are there any fine arts classes that you want to take? And so I had to start out with Intro to Art, which I also had Miss Merchek for, and I adored her class. And I remembered I immediately wanted to take photography with her. So I signed up for the class my sophomore year, and I decided to get most of my required classes out of the way so that later on I could take more fun classes and the ones that I really wanted to take. So I ended up taking photography 1, and I also took sculpture and ceramics that year, and it was just a great experience. I really enjoyed photography that year, and just the warm experiences inside of our classroom really made me want to pursue being in the yearbook and taking pictures for my school and just taking pictures for my own enjoyment as well. But overall, all of my classes I've taken has been a great experience. Just you want to build your future up with your counselor, which is easy and enjoyable as well.
So for me, freshman year, I was really nervous about trying new classes, like new electives that I've never tried. I remember I took treble choir that year and I took drama that year. And I really liked my drama class. So even though I found choir later and I found that that's really what I wanted to stick with, I feel like whatever you take is going to benefit you later in life throughout your high school years. Like I took drama. I was like a little freshman and I was so worried about like how I was going to meet people, like if I would like it. And I still use what I've learned. I've kind of just learned to like life isn't as serious as some things may seem, like get out of your comfort zone. Like you're going to use whatever you learn from the classes and you're going to meet people who are like-minded, who like the same things as you. So I would say just stick with what looks interesting at first and you'll find what you really want to do here at Carmel. And yeah, that would be my advice.
Kind of like what Ellen was saying, I got all of like my prerequisites out of the way so that I could take all the classes I wanted to later. I did start off freshman year though. Luckily, for me, I had a history of dancing. Like I've been dancing since I was really little, so I knew that that was something that I wanted to do at Carmel, and I knew people that had already been to Carmel that really enjoyed the dance programs and the classes. So I knew that I wanted to take dance at some point. And luckily for me, my schedule ended up needed some fixing. So I got to audition and take intermediate to honors my freshman year, which was so fun. And then I got all my prerequisites out of the way so that I could take advanced dance later. And what I would say is like if you are looking to take like a fine arts class, what's really nice about Carmel is that they require like a fine arts credit. So like even if like maybe fine arts isn't your thing, like it's still like required. So like you, because like fine arts is like it's an outlet, you know. So even if it's like not really your thing, you could take ceramics, you could take beginner dance, you could take photography 1, beginner drama, but you can take that and it's maybe you find out you're good at something that you didn't know you were good at. So, or something that you didn't think you'd enjoy but you actually really love, and it's just like an outlet, you know. Like I always feel better after I've taken a dance class, and my brother was in art, he always felt better after he did something. And so I don't know, maybe you'll find something that you enjoy that you didn't think you'd like. So that's what's cool about Carmel is that they like require fine arts credit.
For me, so before freshman year, I didn't want to join marching band. And freshman year, I was too scared to audition for jazz, which is like something I majorly regret because jazz is my favorite class now. So, yeah, I'd say just like go for it if you want to try something out. For people who aren't like fine arts people, I feel like there's still an arts class for everyone. There's people that are like, I wish I could play guitar, I wish I could draw, dancing looks fun, like whatever. I'd say make a sacrifice and just like go for it because you'll meet a bunch of new people. Like fine arts has the coolest people at Carmel, I'd say. So even if you like don't know about the like topic previously, I'd say just go for it and try it out because I don't think like you'll regret it. So yeah.
I definitely I didn't take drama my freshman year. I was involved in I got involved into the productions, but I never like took the class. And I guess like my big thing when it comes to like taking classes, if you like miss out on taking class, you get too nervous to sign up for one, there are other opportunities outside of the classroom to always get involved, especially if you're not like a fine arts person. Like I was student director at Street Scenes, and I got the amazing opportunity to work with people with in a production that are not normally fine arts inclined. So like I worked with like football players, I worked with like people that were in math team, and it was something that they had never even thought to experience. And whoa, you're in a giant production with hair, makeup, costume, and everything. So there's always don't put yourself into a little box. You can always get involved in different ways. If you feel kind of I got too scared, I ruined my own chances, there's never it's never too late to get involved in some way.
I think like especially for like visual art and like drawing and stuff, like people get super scared and they're like, oh, like I can't draw and like stuff like that, or like I can't be in a play, or like I can't dance or whatever, but like they haven't really experienced it and they haven't really tried it. And I think it's really important, especially what Cassie said, like that Carmel has these mandatory like art classes, because like it gets people to experience it, and then you might be super good at art. And like I wasn't even like super keen on like pursuing art as a career when I was a freshman, and now I'm a senior and I have like 4 art classes this year, and I don't have early D, and I just keep filling them up with art, and it's like the best thing ever. And it's really fun. And especially like what I think Ellen and Cassie said this, but like getting the hard classes out of the way when you're a freshman, I think was super smart for me to do, just because now I have a lot of freedom, and like all my homework is art, and it's the best thing ever. Like that's all I do all the time. It's super fun. Yeah.
All your answers are just so awesome. This is so cool. Like the teachers and I were so geeked out about this. We're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. But like it's actually like really great. So keep it up. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. So we just talked about like, what advice can we give and that sort of thing. But what I'd love to hear from each of you is, you've all experienced an area of fine arts, whether it's a class or an organization or both, outside of this, pre 2020 pandemic situation, and now you've experienced it in the pandemic situation. So I'm sure we can all agree that there's some level of like, oh, it's my class, like, yes, this is great. But I would love to hear like what it means to you to just show up to that class, and just like what that's doing for you right now versus ever before, right? Like before we're all like, oh yeah, this is so great, I love this, like this is so my thing. And now, like, does it weigh more with you? Like, does it resonate differently? Has it impacted your life throughout this whole quarantine time, this whole COVID pandemic situation? Like, how has it benefited you? You can go any route with that. So feel free, chime away.
I immediately, it was kind of a scary thing when we went into the pandemic, especially for like the dramatic arts. Are so focused on like you have an audience and you have all of these people you interact with. So it was like, what are we going to do? But I think the wonderful thing about the arts in general, if you're involved in music, if you're involved with illustration or anything in between, is that it's the craft of creativity, and there's always going to be a way that people are going to come together and they're going to find ways to create. Human beings by nature, we're creative beings. So like, especially for like, it was really weird learning about like, because I took Stagecraft this semester, it's like learning about like saws and color theory and like painting and all this stuff, because normally you would be doing that, you'd be working on the set, and we got a couple chances to do that. But it was really cool to find ways to learn about the dramatic arts in ways that are online. We had like an entire production for Midsummer Night's Dream on Zoom, which is ridiculously cool. But yeah, I think just something I love about the arts is that there is this need to create, and if there's a need, they will find a way to do it. There's people need to create things, they need to be together, and they need to feel connected, and the arts is the language of that. So I think we're going to come out of this with new experiences and new ideas and different ways to connect with people than ever before. It's totally changed the game for good and in a good way.
Yeah, I would say going off of that, um, definitely being connected is something that during the pandemic, during quarantine, when we're all alone, when we weren't having classes at all in person, it's easy to kind of just let yourself go, not really talk to anyone, just sit on your couch, attend your Zoom, go to sleep. It's kind of all just the same routine and the days blend together. But having the choir community to be a part of was amazing, especially at the end of this past semester. We had a whole Christmas concert we posted on YouTube, and it was all over like Zoom. Like we each submitted our videos, and Mrs. Hawk put it all together. And at the end, it had almost an hour long like show, and it was just amazing to see it all come together. And like, wow, I'm really still a part of something. I still have my community. We would have like choir Zoom days, and it would be like a little party, and we would have Christmas games and different things like that choir board had put together so that we could all feel connected, and we have group chats, and it's just awesome to be a part of something that, especially during quarantine, it's so important. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, like what Izzy was saying, like it's been super, like life's gotten super repetitive during quarantine. Like you wake up, you get on Zoom, you go to bed, and that's your life. But when I was taking advanced dance last year, second semester, and when everything was shut down, that's what I would do. I would get up, I'd get on Zoom, and then, but the days that I dance, it made me get off my butt. It kept me active, and it just made me feel so much better to do something, well, to really do something, to do anything. But especially like being able to do dance, the thing that I love, and it motivating me to get off the couch and get out of my bed. It was a gift, really. And then I mean, it's been kind of sad because like I've been in Orcsis. This is my 4th year in it, and so I've gotten to perform freshman and sophomore year. Unfortunately, we didn't get to perform last year, but that's always like the best part of it, is being, like Erin was saying, like having an audience and performing and sharing your art and what you've done. That's the best part of it, but not being able to do it is kind of rough. So, but actually, we're filming ours this year, or I think, I'm not exactly sure yet, but that's all thanks to Mrs. O'Keeffe. She's set that up and she's making that possible. She's kind of awesome, but we wouldn't have had a show this year. And so like both Izzy and Erin were saying, like it's amazing, like the effort and the time and the love that like everyone's putting in to the arts right now to keep them going and to keep the community together. And so just thank you, Mrs. O'Keeffe. Like thanks to all the teachers, that are still making the arts possible for us, even though we can't perform right now. We can't like get our art out there like in whatever form we can, through like playing an instrument, through painting a picture and showing it to people, and just everything. So thanks you guys for making it possible for us to keep sharing our art.
Yeah, definitely going off of what Cassie was saying, like when we were sitting at home, I didn't like really do that much. It was just like a very structured, like go on Zoom, do your classes, and like go to sleep. And I think that having the photography mindset was creating our own scenes instead of going out and looking for other scenes to take pictures of. We created our own. And I feel like it really gave me like a creative viewpoint on life. And I like started seeing things that I wouldn't normally see. And I thought like that was a great picture moment. And I really want to hand it to Miss Murchak as well. We had many Google Meets, and her energy that she just gave off, like it was a very scary, unknown time, and like she just like knew it was gonna be okay with like our class and like what we were doing, and she just made it a really fun, memorable time, and like getting to know our class, because a lot of photography is like in the dark room doing our own thing. And so when we were on these meets, we got to have the opportunity to like get to know our fellow peers inside that class and like why they wanted to take that class. And we all just got to know each other. It was a great experience. And we also learned new techniques that we probably wouldn't have learned inside the class through like different programs that were more widely available instead of like the Adobe ones we used Google. And it was a great experience to learn how to like adapt to our new surroundings and just like a new viewpoint on creativity and what we were seeing.
Definitely what Ellen said, like it caused, like the shutdown caused, I think, a lot of creativity. Like once I like kind of stopped that routine of just getting on my Zoom and like being in bed all day, like I was making art like all the time. Like even if I was on a Zoom, like I would listen and then I'd just like be like sketching or something, and like them I was paying attention, but yeah, I created like a ton of art this year, more than I probably have ever created like in my life, like just like through the summer and through like quarantine into this year. And but it was super cool too, like to see like how like being in lockdown like affected everybody's art too, and like all those new like emotions coming up that you can like see in their art. So that was super cool. But yeah.
For me, I think that COVID has been like especially hard on band students and choir students because we use like our breath to make music. So that's especially hard, and we're like super spreaders or whatever. So we've had to find a lot of other things to do instead of playing a lot of classes. But we've gotten around it. We've bought like bell covers for our instruments, and we've had to wait like months for the tent to come outside the fine arts so that we could play outside. I take jazz like every morning except for Wednesday, and it's a nice start to the day because it's like my favorite class, and I get to do that before I have to go through the long classes and the long Zoom sessions. So I really appreciate band because it's my favorite class, and it's like a breath of fresh air in between all the like hard classes that we have with like COVID stuff and now. So yeah.
Perfect segue. Just by show of hands, how many of you have taken advantage of taking before or after school fine arts class in your 3 or 4 years? Before or after school. Okay, cool. 3. That's awesome. Yeah, so they're offered for a variety of different areas in fine arts, to the point of many of you saying, you know, it isn't easy fitting in all the fine arts classes you want to take, like you want to take them all, or a lot of them even, but those are offered so that you can take other fine arts electives in addition to that. So that's really special that we offer that for fine arts. But again, I can't thank you guys enough for just being open and honest. And it comes from such a cool place to hear you speak about it. So I truly believe that for everybody watching live right now, and for everybody who watches this recording later on, I truly believe it's going to affect a lot of people in a good way. And I just can't thank you enough. Hats off to each of you. You've all done phenomenal things in your 3 or now 4 years. And, you know, it's just a test to show, you know, Carmel students are awesome, but you guys have done just great work in the areas that you have focused on. So just know that I'm proud of you. Your teachers are proud of you. Your families are proud of you, but you hear that all the time. Yes? Okay. But again, I just can't thank you enough. This was so cool. All right. Let's just end it with at least each one of you give me an adjective that describes how much you've just appreciated and experienced your program that you're representing today. So just an adjective that reminds you of that program. Go for it. Yeah, it can be like popcorn style. Go for it.
Okay. So definitely my experience has been like huge. We've gone on field trips and stuff. So the word that I would use is astronomical. Everything was just like a huge experience and a great time. And it was just a lot of fun.
I'm gonna steal a word from Miss Kyle, and that is flexible.
A word that is kind of ingrained in my brain is legendary. That was going to be our orchestra show last year. That's what it was going to be called, and that's just kind of what my experience with the fine arts department has been. So
Definitely rewarding. It's been super rewarding. Just being able to finish a piece, it feels so good.
For me, the first word I could think of was just hopeful, because whenever you're feeling down, you just go with everyone and just start singing and just bring so much joy to people. So it just brought so much hope, especially in this time.
I'm gonna say like friendly or familial because I've made so many friends in band and it's just a really nice group of people and yeah, it's great.
That was a perfect way to close. It was absolutely awesome. I'm just gonna end the recording by saying thanks so much for watching, everybody, and yeah, look out for these juniors and seniors because they're gonna be doing great things. All right, and so are you future students someday.